Hello YouTubies, this is King Scribe and thank you for watching this marvellous, most bodacious and amazing YouTube video. Now I've seen one or two reviewers on YouTube about the Listen episode, and while I think that the Listen episode was pretty good, I did agree with more or less everything they said. For one of the first times ever, I actually believed, yeah, they've got a good point. All of the points, it's not just nitpicking, they actually got good points. So I wanted to address this in a video and a sort of, reactional review of it. There's no review, it's just a reaction to it because I've not scripted it. It's probably one of the reasons why I just a loose fucking cannon on fucking YouTube, right? So after watching it again, the full version, not the beta version, because I only saw the pre-release, the beta, before I made the first video. But after watching it again in full colour, and it's the actual release, the intended release by the BBC for TV, I sort of changed my mind a little bit on the episode. I still think it's okay, but I agree with people like Mr. Todd's reviews for the fucking first time ever. I actually agree with some of the things he said, but I rate it higher than he does. Right? I think there are some nitpicking going on, but I still rate it a little bit higher than he does. There is a problem with Stephen Moffat in a way, and I think the problem is, this writer Stephen Moffat, who we pay, to buy all this Doctor Who merchandise, and he puts all this stuff out. I'm a bit worried about his writing style, and I just want to ask him, are you okay, mate? The drugs don't work, alright? They only make it worse. Don't take them, especially when you write it. Don't get pissed. Don't smoke pot while you're writing, and you should be okay. But we're all here for you. If you want to come on YouTube and get some support from us lot, we're here for you, because we can see in the writing that obviously you must have some issues. Right? I don't mean it in a mean way. I mean it in jest, of course. But the writing can be a little bit down in places, although I disagree with people like Mr. Todd's reviews on some of the Angels episodes, except for the one where they're all fucking lined up in a line, talking to the Doctor, singing, being blown into fucking the time crack and all that. That was a fucking shit episode, alright? That's one thing I've said ages ago. It was crap. The Weeping Angels should be mysterious. They should sneak up on you. They shouldn't start snapping necks. They could, but they shouldn't start, bantering with the Doctor, talking to him, because it takes away something from them. It takes away the mysterious character. It takes away the, how can I put it, the psychological impact they have on the viewer, the suspense, etc. It does take away that. So that's why Stephen Moffat later changed it, because it just wasn't working. That was a crap episode, and it really ruined the previous episodes, things like Blink, etc., because that was a classical episode that made this monster so supremely good, full of suspense originally, and he just lost it in fucking one episode, made him fucking ridiculous, made him a laughingstock, turned him into the fucking Daleks. Alright, the Daleks, I mean, his use of the Daleks are just as bad. But anyway, I rewatched the episode Blink, right? After watching it again in the full release version, I did notice new things that were added. For instance, in the pre-release, the beta version, there was no monster in it. I mean, there was a hood, the blanket was taken off, but it could have just easily been the hair of a child. The one in the released version did actually show a monster. Could be a monster, could be an alien, but there was something in the room. Now some people might think that's an imagination, but no, there was definitely something in the room, because that scene shows there was something that suddenly came on the bed. So whatever it was is probably going into the finale of this year. Alright, and yeah, this is one thing I disagree with Mr. Tardis on. Except for the Weeping Angels, we've got the things I've just suddenly forgot about. What were they? Oh, the Silence. That's it, right? So the Silence, as the Doctor said in the previous season, that your memory of them gets wiped out after a certain time. They don't even stay in your mind. You start to forget about them later on, even if you've been in contact with them for a long time, or even if you know about them, your memories of them disappear. That was explained in the previous episode. So he's wrong about that. You know, the Doctor would not remember the silence. He would have forgot by now. So perfect hiding does relate to the silence, but because they get wiped from your mind after time, as explained by Matt Smith's Doctor, he's not going to remember it. So there's something coming on in the finale of this year that is related to that. One thing I don't understand is, you know, how does this thing hiding under the bed and suddenly appearing behind the kid and the Doctor, and they look around and they see it, how is that perfect hiding? Okay, maybe that's a nitpick. Maybe that's just because it lets itself be known now and again for whatever reason we don't know. I believe that's going to be part of the finale at some point. Something building up, and of course the chalk bit when it was written on the blackboard, it does seem a bit weird that later on Colorado said, what happens if there's nothing, what happens if it's your imagination, what happens if there was nothing in the first place. That seems a bit stupid. In the plot of things, it seems stupid. What was in the fucking bedroom with the kid? What was it some other kid playing a prank? Did it just suddenly manifest itself on the bed? Because it seemed to grow on the bed rather than be placed on the bed. If you notice, it starts to sink as if it's growing on top of the bed, which seems a bit strange. So I don't think that's a kid. It can't be. So it is a perfect hiding being. It can appear in different locations. It hides under the bed, but people know it's there. That's another thing about, you know, if it was perfect hiding, how would people know it's under the bed? I mean, the silence are much better. You know, if it was a perfect hiding creature, camouflage, how would they know it's under the bed? They wouldn't. And as for camouflage, you know, in nature, there are creatures that can do that. There's stick insects that look like sticks. There's chameleons that can blend into their environment very well, and there's some really good ones that can actually make themselves look like bark, and you wouldn't notice until you're very close to them. There are creatures that can do that. I don't think Stephen Moffat's very good at nature if he doesn't understand that. Jellyfish, you don't even see them half the time because some of them look almost transparent, and you know, some of the creatures hide in the dark anyway. So there are creatures that can do that, and they do it. They take advantage of it. So there's nothing really there that isn't already in nature anyway. So of course, you know, the Doctor could be seen as from an alien point of view because he's not really connected to the Earth. He never has been really. He's an alien. Yeah, and I think the production of this particular Doctor is much better than the previous ones because it comes out as the fact that he doesn't really connect fully with humans. Matt Smith didn't really connect fully at times with humans. You know, when he was bursting out the cake and he said, "I kissed your wife," etc. That's how the Doctor thinks. He's an alien. He doesn't relate a kiss to you know, sexual orientation. He's just an alien. And you know, even David Tennant's Doctor, who I think wasn't as good as what people think he is, because he came across too human. But even him at times, you know, when he's talking to Donna Noble saying, "You're not special, you're not this," and blah, smack. You know, she smacked him. Because I don't agree with smacking men all the time, but that was a funny scene, I liked it. And she said, "You must be an alien because you don't understand all this crap. I mean, why can't you connect to humans properly?" You know, he can connect to them emotionally, but he should never be able to connect to their personal lives because he's not really human. He has a history of Time Lordedness. He doesn't really connect to humans because he isn't. Think of the previous Doctor before him, David Eccleston. When he was in those scenes, with Rose. She said, "You're alien. You must be, because you suddenly just forgot about somebody who died. He's used to war, isn't he? So that makes sense for Doctor Who. And I'm just bringing this up because I think it's very interesting. I think that's the right path to go down. The Doctor is not human. Right? He should never fully be human. He should always be a little bit distant, making strange remarks, and I think Stephen Moffat's done that perfectly. I remember saying this years ago that should be done, and I've seen it happen in Doctor Who recently. I've seen it happen more. The mirrors, for instance, why not just look at one mirror? It makes perfect sense. It would make perfect sense to an alien. I agree with that. So this sort of thing actually works. It actually makes perfect sense to men, actually. Men wouldn't actually relate to that as well as what most people think. But yeah, going back to the episode, Wink, listen, it was a good episode. But yeah, and also, I do see people's points about Clara winding Pink up, but Pink has been annoying me in these previous episodes. Men are usually a bit more resistant to being so wound up very easily. He seems like a puppy dog. He seems like a bit of a soft kind of guy. He's been in the fucking army. He should be used to women chatting and all that shit. He's been in the army. He's a hardened bloke. He's got empathy, etc. But he burst out in these fucking psychotic rages now and again. Of course, this can be a development ploy by Stephen Moffat, but he needs to improve very quickly because his character just doesn't gel with the fucking audience as well as what Stephen Moffat thinks. I do like Stephen Moffat's style of writing, by the way. I don't agree with most of the reviewers about criticising things like Sound of the Daleks, which I thought was pretty good. I think people were just disappointed that not all the Daleks were there in black and white, of course. He's not going to be able to get all the Daleks there. That was just him lying his fucking ass off. But I thought they were good episodes, and I thought Stephen Moffat did some really good ones that have been really criticised. Think of classics such as The Beast Below. No, that was shit. I don't agree with what everybody says about different episodes, but this listen episode, after watching it again, especially in the full release version, it does come across as different. Right, the banging on the capsule door, I thought was more related to the cooling devices in the the spaceship, because that would make sense, and because the graphical work hadn't been done on the alien standing in the bedroom of the kid, it just looked like her being pulled off, the cloth being pulled off, and it was her. I think, it must be a kid or something. In the full release version, you could actually see it was clear as a monster. It was an alien. So it could well be that there was something outside that capsule. So it changes. Beta version, don't believe that they're finished. I've said this before. Do not believe that that's the finished version. They can change things. They can add things later. They can even re-record some of the scenes without you even knowing. So this is one of the reasons why it's bad to actually class a episode based on a beta version, because that is just being seen by the editor. Okay, so don't get too carried away with that crap if you've actually seen it. It is a good episode, isn't it? I do like the bit where he's on Gallifrey, but that also brings up another question. The fucking TARDIS was on Gallifrey. The Gallifrey's lost, right? Suddenly it finds itself in Gallifrey. What do you think that means? It means the TARDIS has managed to find Gallifrey. Gallifrey is somewhere for the Doctor to find. It's not destroyed. It's in time. It's in the universe of time at the moment, somewhere. It's just lost somewhere. As the woman said in the End of Time Part 2, I was lost and found, whatever. It's just lost. It's somewhere there to be found. But where? And when Clara said, never look back, I don't think she realised exactly where she was. She may have thought that, if she said something to the doctor wouldn't, go on his journey and help people. I'm not totally against that idea, by the way, because in the 50th anniversary, she goes through the time vortex, and the shiny thing in the TARDIS, as she goes through it, and she influences all the Doctor's lives. You have to have something big for the 50th anniversary. So I'm not totally against the fact that she's done all fucking that, and then suddenly just influenced the Doctor somewhere else too. It seems rather trivial to nitpick that, but of course she is a bit annoying at times. You know, I don't think everybody will accept that as you know, being part of the Doctor. I think the Doctor's been distracted by other things anyway. You know, the fact that his planet's been disappeared, blown up, he thought it was destroyed. He's been upset about other fucking things, to be worrying about what happened when he was a child at night. Yeah, you know, I've had nightmares that fucking night when I was a child. You know, I've had you know, feelings of being held down. It doesn't come into your fucking head all the time. I used to suffer from fucking sleep paralysis, for God's fucking sake, you know. So, you know, this sort of fucking crap is not going to bother the Doctor. He's too hard fucking core for that. I'm surprised that you know, Peter Capaldi just didn't say fuck it. You know, he should have just said fuck it and pulled the cloth over the fucking alien's head and gave it a slap. You know, don't worry about that sort of thing, Peter Capaldi. Just slap the fucking alien. Sort it out. You know, you're the real Doctor. And this Doctor, he is the Doctor, alright? He's proved himself through all these episodes that he is the Doctor. You know, don't judge him just because he's fucking 50 years old. He's showing that he can fight, he can be active, he can run around in the TARDIS, he can tell Clara to back off. He's proven that he's the Doctor. I really like Peter Capaldi's style of doctoring. I think it's probably better than Matt Smith. It's certainly better than David Eccleston, not Christopher Eccleston, but David Tennant. I do like David Tennant's Doctor. I did really enjoy it. It did draw me in quite a lot. But Peter Capaldi's brought something completely different to the table, and he could overtake these Doctors very soon. You know, he is the Doctor now, and I really appreciate his style of acting for Doctor Who. I think we're in the golden ages again. And I think, you know, he's going to be there for quite a few years. So if you're a fangirl out there who's judging him just because of the way he looks or whatever, you know, that's fine. But, you know, just... I mean, I've seen people on, you know, Doctor Who who've not been particularly good looking, you know, women. It's just, I don't give a shit about it. I don't look at the Doctor and think, you know, I want to see a real good looking bloke. I don't give a fuck. I'm a bloke anyway, it doesn't bother me. You know, I prefer to see an old fucking granddad on Doctor Who playing the part and playing it fucking well than seeing fucking Brad Pitt or whatever. You know, I don't give a shit. I don't want to see you know, a hot woman actor playing the Doctor just because it may please the feminists out there. I prefer the Doctor to be an older gentleman, but to be disconnected from the Doctor Who stuff. But anyway, we're back on Listen. Yeah, Chloe and the Doctor were on Gallifrey at the time, weren't they? So that is a big plot device that's got to be opened up sooner or later, and it's got to look back. The Doctor's got to look back on it. All right. You know, there's going to be many skeletons in the Doctor's closet. All right, and we're sure never going to discover them all. Probably not in our lifetime. The Doctor is going to go on for well over 100 years. All right, there's going to be 100th year anniversary of Doctor Who, probably in I'll put it out there right now, probably in some sort of virtual reality. Maybe you can be the character in it in 100 years time. The technology would have certainly developed that much, and it could be turned into a game sort of. The 100th anniversary could actually be a virtual reality video game with a story in it that you're part of and you influence the characters there. So wherever, anything can happen in the future, alright? But I'm saying this right now, that Doctor Who is going to be sticking around for a very long time. Of course there's going to be skeletons in this closet, and just because he had a nightmare as a child and it did influence him means nothing at all. I disagree with people on this. It means nothing. You know, I've had sleeping paralysis when I was younger, which is more like feeling like you're being held down or something. You know, that doesn't fucking bother me now. It's probably because I was drinking, you know, smoking too much pot or sort of stuff, but it doesn't bother me now, and I'm sure it doesn't bother the fucking Doctor. So that psychologically, that's not going to make any effect on the fucking Doctor anyway. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you later, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. Listen, I don't think it was that bad. Some people have given it negative reviews, but not everybody. See you later. Bye bye.